As we travel around North America, gathering materials for our documentaries, we often come across special people and places that we'd like to share with you.
In Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we met with Ron Baraff, the Director of Historic Resources and Facilities from the Rivers of Steel National Heritage Area.
This is the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, really. I mean, this region fueled it. This region built the machinery that became all those mills and all the infrastructure of this country. You don't have America's 20th century. You don't have the Industrial Revolution in this country without Pittsburgh. Rivers of Steel is a national heritage area. We were mandated by the Congress of the United States and also by the state of Pennsylvania as an umbrella organization to oversee the cultural and industrial heritage of this region. The building we're currently in is the blowing engine house. The blowing engine house is at one time it was the lungs of the blast furnace. So in this building would have been giant air compressors, which were powered by gas or steam, that provided air to the hot stoves of the furnace, which would be superheated up to 1800 degrees, and that air would then be pushed into the blast furnace for the smelting process. This is where that power is coming from. This is where the blast in the blast furnace is made. The fuel for all of this industry, up and down these rivers, for the blast furnaces and for the steel plants, oftentimes is coke. Coke is coal that's been processed. The machinery behind me, this is the 48-inch universal plate mill, which was originally built for the Homestead works. And it was in place from 1898 until 1979. Plate from this mill became part of the Empire State Building, went into Panama Canal locks, numerous battleships and structures all over this country. Prior to the Bessemer, steel's being made. They've been making steel for thousands of years, but you're making it by the pound. And it was a very slow, laborious process that required a high amount of skill. It's not economical. I mean, it's not ideal. You can't make it in such volume as to be able to build buildings from it. Folks like Andrew Carnegie and Henry Clay Frick and Henry Oliver, they're all based here. Their capital is based here. The capital and the vision. He really establishes that system that's put in place, that system of steel making, the hard driving steel making, that creates the Carnegie Empire. By the late 1880s, he brings in Henry Clay Frick as president of Carnegie Steel. Frick was that yang to Carnegie's yin. Carnegie wanted to be the friend of the workers, at least in a public face. Frick didn't care. He's not a likable character. He's as tough as they come. And he was capitalist through and through. It did not believe in the rights of the workers and in labor unions. He was notorious for busting the unions in the coal fields. The climate really does change within Carnegie Steel. And it was a very open point of, we are going to eradicate all the unions within our company. And it obviously culminates in 1892 in Homestead. In Homestead, Carnegie acquires the plant in 1883. He's able to acquire the plant because there's labor trouble. The Amalgamated Association of Iron and Steel Workers holds sway over Homestead. They were not only involved in the building of the plant, but the same people who are running the union are also building the town of Homestead. And their feeling was that we have as much of a stake in this mill as you do as the owner. You're providing the capital, we're providing the work, we're providing the know-how. June 30th, 1892, the last agreement between the Amalgamated and the company is set to expire. And the line's drawn in the sand. We're going to eradicate the union right then and there. Carnegie fully supports this. June 30th, Frick locks all the workers out. The union then declares a strike. Frick orders 300 Pinkerton men to be brought into Homestead to not attack the steel workers, but to seal off the mill so that they can start bringing in scab workers. He was not going to allow that mill to stand idle for very long. Within the next week, 8,000 militiamen arrive in town, the Pennsylvania militia, and seal the town off. And the town's essentially under martial law for the remainder of the summer. They start bringing scab workers in, black sheep as they're called, and get the mill up and running again. By fall, it's apparent that the workers cannot win this battle. The majority of the workers ask out of their strike pledge. A number of them return to work under those conditions that were laid out by Carnegie Steel. Disavow the union, you work for the sliding scale, and you work the hours that you're told. Without those brave souls that came here and gave everything they had, we wouldn't be who we are. You and I wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be having this discussion. And it's important to remember that.
Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.